First, there was Sting, then there was Beck, and now there's Troy. New Jersey born and raised theater veteran is no stranger to the big screen, the small screen, and today he's going to be center stage on your screen. Get ready for Troy to bear it all today on Marquee Backstage.
She's not here no more. You're not here no more. So why you keep coming back? Oh, oh, round and round and round we go. Round and round and round we go.
Troy and Evan, the dream team.
Oh, look at that.
Wow.
The creative ability of the two of you is mind-blowing. Tell me what the creative process is like for you.
Well, when we work together, we're usually accompanied by Marty Fredrickson, who is Evan's father. And the three of us he's like the Obi-Wan Kenobi of us.
I think it's a little generous to call him Obi-Wan Kenobi.
It's true.
You're just saying
true.
that because he's your father.
Yeah. It's a little.
No, but he really helps us guide, or he guides us. In a way, we're doing this acoustic record of Calvin Court right now, and we'll sit and we'll play it with him, and he's gonna be like, oh, you can move this and kind of tune, but he's like, your guys are on the right track, and yeah, we just get along. So that really helps the creative process. We don't really attack each other.
Yeah, nothing's forced.
No.
It's just we really do what we want. You know what I mean? It's always never overthink anything. Never overthink it.
We're opinionated people.
Oh, absolutely.
So we'll definitely butt heads a little bit on certain things, but what's great is that we try it both ways. And then who's ever right is right, and then they feel good, but the other person also knows, well, I was wrong, and that's okay.
Because they heard how it sounded, and they were like, I was wrong. Yeah. you
Yeah.
know?
Or there's a compromise.
Yeah.
Or
there's a compromise.
somewhere in the
That's
middle.
usually what
Something
it is.
better. Yeah, that's usually what happens.
Which is kind of where every healthy relationship comes
Exactly.
from. Collaboration. What was the very first collaboration like?
Our first song that we wrote together was Guilty. Yeah, because we wrote that on New Year's Eve of 2020.
Ooh.
2020. Yeah.
So who came to the table with that concept?
It was one of those.
We just jammed. We had a piano in the living room, and I just started playing chords, and then Troy came up with this cool melody that really stuck out.
Suits on.
And he looked at some because we were going to a Roaring Twenties themed New Year's Eve party. So
Yeah, so we were really
we were
feeling
dressed up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So we were
and he sat down at the piano and started playing it, and
looked through some quotes on your phone.
and I was going through my phone. I was like, oh, this is cool. Guilty to be human's and interesting. And he just held this chord, and then I was like, go, do, do,
And then we started
and
harmonizing.
it just
yeah.
went for it, and
That
But then
song
you
made-
found some magic.
Yes, I think we did. I think we found it pretty fast. We were because we already worked together before that, through my dad. We worked on 2 songs, which are on the EP, Mistake and Foolish, simultaneously. And, those were going great. And then I, started to become friends with Troy.
We became friends.
We really became friends because we were just working,
Right.
together. And we loved working together.
Yeah.
We were just let's start hanging out, And
the first time we actually met, I went to the studio, had no idea who this kid was. And I walk in and meet Evan and one of his friends, and he's like, yeah, just go into the piano room and you'll just play. Because I didn't have a piano here. I was here maybe a week at most, and I kind of sat down, I put the headphones on, and I had a nice moment of wow.
Yes.
Where I am.
This is your
Piano and a
moment.
mic,
I was
yeah.
like, here we go. And I ended up playing Foolish. And then right when I finished Foolish, it was movie moment. All I hear is, that was great, man.
And you were like,
That was awesome.
Where did that voice come from?
And I had the headphones on, I was like, oh, what?
You were listening?
Oh, yeah, he's like, yeah, so if you want to just go for it again, I recorded the whole thing.
Yes.
And then I was like, I'm now going to mess up, since I know that people are listening.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
But you
He
already had
started
that one
messing
take
up.
in.
Yeah.
He was doing really well until I was like, yeah, man, that's great, keep going.
As if my
Shouldn't have said
voice would
anything.
crack, and I was doing the whole thing, but it was a really good
But
time.
yes, that was good. It was the first time we met.
Feeling lonely, but that's alright. At least that's what I tell myself to get me through the night. I know I'm lost, but that's okay. Maybe I don't wanna be found anyway. I think about you every now and then. together, but we're the wrong. I couldn't fall asleep tonight because of you. And I know it isn't right to call and say I broke your heart in two. I know that you loved me more than you showed, but I was foolish to think I'd stop loving you soon as I let you go. I go out like everything's fine, maybe even treating myself to something funner than wine, but no one leads me home to bed like you do. Oh, I'm craving you. I couldn't fall asleep tonight because of you. Oh, and I know it isn't right to call and say I broke your heart in two. Oh, I know that you loved me more than you showed, but I was foolish to think I'd stop loving you soon as I let you go. But I'm not over you, it's true. I'm not over you.
Take me on your journey where it all started, because music wasn't your first love.
I was born in New Jersey, grew up in New Jersey, lived in Morristown. I played football, basketball, soccer, baseball. I was on the swim team. I did wrestling. I was then kind of put into musical theater because I've always been a singer. And that's just something that apparently I just popped out.
So whose idea was that, though?
From what I remember, it was my mom's. She was just like, hey, I decided to put you in this theater program. And I sang Beauty School Dropout. And I just remember like feeling the roar.
Right.
Of just like, and I was just like, this is it. I need this feeling.
That's all she wrote.
This feeling. And so I said to my parents, I would like to do this professionally. And I was also doing a kind of a traveling troupe in New Jersey at the Count Basie Theater. And the woman who was running it, her name was Yvonne Scuddery. She said to my mom, well, if he wants to really do this, he's got to go to New York. So I went to New York, and my mom would drive me to New York every day.
Bless her.
Every day.
Were there any life lessons that you learned during that time that you didn't anticipate? Was there any judgment from people that you didn't expect?
A few things. One, I had to start homeschooling.
Okay.
So
Big life
bye-bye
change.
friends to a degree.
Social life.
Yeah. A lot of your friends when you're younger are friends of circumstance because they're in your class and they're just there and, oh, you like this too? I like that too. So when you're driving back to New York all the time, you go from 100 pennies to 4 quarters really quick.
Right.
And I'm so happy that I would much rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies because then you have those deeper relationships.
But was there a time when you didn't get an invite to a party?
Oh, yeah.
Or something that kind of hurt?
Yeah.
As you're
or I would get
learning?
the invite and I'd have to choose to not go because I'd have to either go to an audition or, you know, I put a lot of the career first.
Right.
Always. That's kind of still how I am, a lot.
So what is the one opportunity you really wanted with all your heart and didn't get it?
you know, being an actor, and I mean, and a musician, but more the actor, you got to face rejection all the time. I mean, somebody could just, oh, that was great, but wasn't for me.
But this one,
But like we like them.
better suited.
Yeah, and you're like, okay, well, I gave it the best I can, and so I'm okay with that. But the drive home always is a little bit of a bummer. So like I've had a few Netflix movies that I didn't get, that I was like, I could taste. I was like, this is mine. And it just didn't happen because it wasn't meant to. And I know that now.
But in that moment.
But in the moment, it was like, I'm gonna just, you know, negate my feelings and just get a little like, it's all good.
Is that really how you are though in those moments?
I used to be a very big like suppressor of self-emotion through either humor or substances, and just kind of like alcohol, and like, oh, I'm gonna go grab a drink because it's easy, and like, because I don't have to deal with my stuff. Right. And that's unhealthy.
No.
And I, over the past kind of, I guess 2 years, kind of 2-3 years, ever since I kind of decided not to drink anymore, decided to not date people I don't want to date, just out of convenience, and like be better to myself, from myself, because I got a bunch of people up here, and they're all saying a bunch of different things.
Right.
But the loudest voice has to be this one.
Met a girl on an empty train in the middle of the night. I could feel her eyeing me from across the car, but never did enter my sight. She asked where I was going, I misheard and said my name. She laughed for a moment and did the same. And as the door slid open, I looked around and wondered if she would leave. Ooh, baby, take a ride with me. Ooh, baby, oh, underneath the city street. Oh, and I know it sounds crazy, but I didn't want it to end. Oh, I was falling in love, my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minute friend. Coming into the West Coast, had deja vu right on the skin. Oh, I was trying to do everything I could to keep my cool when she asked how you been. Begging one thing led to the next, while waiting for our bags down at LAX. We stepped away to where the music played. And as the door slid open, she looked around and wondered if I would leave. Ooh, baby, take a ride with me. Falling in love with my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minute friend. Singing, whoa, la 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 la, whoa, whoa, la 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 la, hey. Ooh, baby, oh baby. I know it sounds crazy, but I didn't want it to end. Oh, I was falling in love. I was falling in love with my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minute friend. Oh, she's alright, alright.
But music has kind of stayed consistent with you throughout every one of those phases?
The most uncomfortable question for me while I lived in LA was, do I like acting or music more? Because I felt like I spent the wrong amount of time in the wrong place. So I just didn't answer it. I was like, eh. And I would just write for me. I've been taking voice lessons since I was 12. Why would I do that?
Right.
You know, subconsciously, why would I spend all that time doing that? Why would I be teaching myself how to write? Why would I be writing songs? Why would I be learning these things if I didn't know that there was a part of me that needed it? And for me, writing was just a way to get stuff out.
Right, it was your expression.
It was for me. But my voice teacher, Vincent, told me that if you only write songs for you, you're the only person who's gonna hear it.
That's exactly right.
And so I kind of started writing from other perspectives. Mistake was actually written from a perspective of a friend of mine. You know, what can other people feel? I'm not the only person who's ever felt this.
No.
You know, how can I make other people not feel alone?
Right.
And that's kind of where music kind of started taking off.
And that's the one constant for you, regardless of where you were in your personal life, in your career path, where you didn't feel alone.
It's interesting because I'm thinking about it right now, but there was a specific point in my life where I knew I wasn't alone anymore.
You remember it?
Oh yeah.
Exactly. Tell me about it.
So, it was a Sunday. I was feeling real bad about most things.
Okay.
I was still drinking, still like smoking weed, and just not in the best shape of my life, and I was just feeling it. And I was on the phone with my mom. My mom was like, why don't you just go to church? And I was like, no, why would I go to church? She's like, what? Just go, just trust me, you should just go. And so I went in, I sat all the way in the back, like in the back left, and then the first reading goes by.
I got nothing.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, you know, Paul did what? Like, I don't know what happened. And then goes up to do the sermon. Gets behind the podium, and he's talking, and the priest goes from looking over here, and you'll be me. And he just goes, look. And I was like, huh. And I like immediately started crying. And he was like, I know your life's really hard right now. I know you're low on money. I know you're not happy with like who you are. I know that it feels like everything is on you right now. But when everything good happens, you're all for me. You're all happy. But right now, it kind of feels like nobody's around. It's because I'm working.
You think
I'm doing it. And I need you to trust me that I'm doing it. Because if you can't do that, then I can't do the other thing.
So it's a test of your faith.
And I was like, okay. That's why we're doing it.
It was that easy though.
Yeah, it was that. I was like, okay, I'll like, okay. Like, I just needed you to kick me in the face. That's all I asked for. I needed the proof. It's not just me anymore.
It never was.
It never was, but I didn't see it.
I reminisce about the good times that haven't happened yet. I think of all the places I would go if I could just afford it. And hey, I'm not gonna take it when they say I won't make it, 'cause I'll make it as the world gets warmer. People stay cold, they're just cannon fodder, chipping away at their souls. If you think I'm losing the fight, oh, I'll get back up, 'cause I'm unbreakable. I don't get hurt like I used to. finally understand. Oh, if I kept every promise I made to myself, I'd be a different man. Ooh, but hey, I'm not gonna take it. When they say I won't make it, I'll make it. As the world gets warmer, people stay cold. They're just getting farther, chipping away, chipping away. If you think I'm losing the fight, oh, I'll get back up, 'cause I'm unbreakable. Pain and sorrow. Oh, I won't give up on tomorrow. As the world gets warmer, people stay cold, and they can say I'm wrong, but I'm unbreakable.